Some stories are never finished. They're just filed away. Welcome to Chronicles of the Obscure, September 23rd, 1954. Gallatin, Tennessee. The afternoon sun hangs high over the Lang family farm. David Lang says goodbye to his wife and children on the porch, turns, and walks across the grassy field toward the gate. Halfway there, in full view of his family and a visiting judge, he vanishes. Not into a hole, not behind a rise, he disappears mid-stride, as if erased from the air. The family sprints to the spot. Nothing. No sound, no disturbance in the grass. David Lang is gone, and he will never be seen again. This isn't a story of a missing person. It is a story of a man who ceased to exist between one step and the next. Let's catalogue what remains in the Lang file. First, the witnesses. There's Sarah Lang, his wife, their 2 children, 8-year-old George and 6-year-old Emma, and Judge August Peck, a respected local official who was visiting. All of them gave consistent, separate accounts of what they saw. An immediate search followed, with neighbors and law enforcement combing every inch of that field. They found no hidden wells, no caves, no soft earth. The ground was hard and completely undisturbed. Then things got stranger. Days after the disappearance, a perfect 15-foot circle of grass turned yellow and died right where Lang vanished. For years, nothing grew in that spot, and this wasn't the first time something like this had supposedly happened in the area. There's a historical echo. Back in 1880, just 70 miles away, a farmer named Orion Williamson was said to have vanished in nearly identical circumstances, walking across a field in broad daylight, witnessed by multiple people. As if that weren't enough, later phenomena plagued the Lang farm. Sarah Lang reported hearing her husband's faint, disembodied voice calling for help from the spot where he disappeared. Neighbors even claimed to see strange, unexplained lights hovering over the field at night. So, what happened out there in that Tennessee field? Let's head to the theory board. Theory number 1 is the most grounded, an elaborate hoax. The idea is that Lang staged his own vanishing, perhaps using a pre-dug, hidden trench or tunnel to escape debt or some personal trouble. The family, including the judge, then maintained this elaborate lie for decades. It's a plausible, if cynical, explanation. Theory 2 ventures into the bizarre, an atmospheric or dimensional anomaly. Some researchers suggest that rare electromagnetic or gravitational fluctuations could, in theory, create temporary portals or phase shifts. Lang might have simply stepped into one at the exact wrong moment. That dead circle of grass? It could have been a burn mark from a massive energy discharge left behind by the event. Theory 3 is a classic for a reason. Alien abduction. The suddenness of the disappearance, the strange lights seen later, the disembodied voice calling for help. It fits the classic abduction narrative. The only missing piece is a craft, as no one reported seeing a ship or vehicle at the time of the event itself. Now, Theory 4 throws a wrench into the entire story. It's the theory of folklore contamination. Some investigators discovered that the David Lang story first appeared in print in an article written by a famous writer, Ambrose Bierce, but in 1908, a full 54 years before the alleged event. This suggests the whole tale might just be a recycled urban legend, a ghost story that attached itself to a real family and place. And finally, Theory 5, collective hallucination or mass hysteria. Could the entire group, the family and the judge, have experienced a shared psychotic episode? Perhaps triggered by the intense heat, stress, or some form of unintentional suggestion. They didn't see something that wasn't there. They collectively imagined an impossible event. The story doesn't end in 1954. In the 1970s, a paranormal investigator named George W. Eerily tracked down and interviewed Lang's daughter, Emma, who was now an adult. She stood by the story her family had told all those years ago. But when Eerily asked for permission to take soil samples from the dead circle on the property, she refused. Why? We'll never know. The field has since been paved over, buried beneath a modern housing development. Modern skeptics have a field day with this case, and for good reason. They point out that no death certificate for David Lang was ever filed. No life insurance was ever claimed. Most damning of all, No contemporary police report from 1954 has ever been found. The story seems to exist only in later magazine articles and books, yet the legend persists. It's been retold in books like The Vanished and featured in classic episodes of Unsolved Mysteries. It endures because it taps into a primal, deep-seated fear that the solid ground beneath our feet is not as stable, not as reliable as we desperately want to believe. The David Lang case is less about a missing farmer and more about the nature of evidence itself. When a story is supported only by testimony, repeated through decades, and wrapped in so many eerie, almost cinematic details, where does the truth end and the myth begin? Whether David Lang vanished into thin air, was pulled into another dimension, or simply slipped away into the pages of a tall tale, his disappearance has become a permanent fixture in the landscape of American mystery. It's a chilling reminder that some vanishings are not meant to be solved, only wondered at. What do you believe happened to David Lang? Share your theory in the comments below. And if you want to explore more stories that linger on the edge of belief, subscribe to Chronicles of the Obscure. Thanks for watching.